up, Robert Pena? What's up, Paul? What's up, Hooligan? Appreciate y'all jumping in. My Ann. Hey, B-Al. Hey, John B. Raider. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Just the chat room. Bomber and me. Wyo, what's up, Wyo? Merry Christmas to you too, Wyo. Tida. What's up, Ty? Here we go. It's episode number 397 of Raiders Fan Radio.
What's up, guys? It's Richie Incognito, Las Vegas Raiders. I'm here at Raiders Fan Radio. Let's go, Raiders.
Woo! Hey, it's Mike Garofalo, NFL Network here in the home office, and you are listening to the Raiders Fan Radio podcast, taking that lighter journey into the dark side with Murf, Swag Jeff, and Michelle. She's got great hair. It's a little pink, it's a little purple, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, if I could grow it, I would sign up for that color today. So listen to her and the entire crew as they give you all the information on the Raiders on the podcast that benefits the One Nation Foundation. It's a great cause. It's a great pod. Tune in, turn it up. Here it comes. All that Raiders info and takes coming at you right now.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murf's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Paletnikov, a leaking pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brett Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what I trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. And Brent Musburger in there says, thank you, or take it away, guys. Yeah, no, just guy, just one. There's just, well, I guess two technically, because Bomber's in here, just me and the dog tonight. So appreciate you joining us for this Christmas selfie. Here as we head into the most amazing holiday season, as always, and it is only amazing because we get to share it with you, Raider Nation, and so I appreciate you all being in the chat room tonight, and can't wait to share a little bit of Raider talk tonight, and we'll keep it as positive as we can when it comes to this team. There's just, you guys know, but anyways, so I appreciate everyone tonight. Appreciate Hooligan, appreciate Tida, appreciate Martin is in there, Robert Pena is in there, Kenny Blair is in there, Paul. Of course, Justin Marmon is in there with a $4.99 donation to the One Nation Foundation, which is our nonprofit. We give that money away to Raiders-related charities. any of the dollars that come in here to Raiders Fan Radio. So we appreciate you, Justin, brother, very, very much. Hooligan, I mentioned. Wyo is in there. Let's see, am I missing anybody? John B. Raider is in there. Raider B. Al is in there. Appreciate Greg Brayman is in there. Darian is in there. Man, so many of our good friends. We appreciate you so very, very much for joining us for $3.97 of Raiders Fan Radio. So as I said, it's just me. Swaggo's got family stuff tonight. Michelle's got family stuff tonight. I invited Uncle Mosh. It's his birthday today, so shout out Uncle Mosh and happy birthday. He's turning, I don't even want to do this because the meme is going to get old fast, but 6'7". Anyway, so Uncle Mosh is 67 years old. Happy birthday to Uncle Mosh. I invited Jeff Murphy. Jeff Murphy has family stuff going on tonight. So, and I got family stuff going on tonight too, but I live where we do the show, so it's easy for me. So anyway, so just wanted to dip in and check in with you all and just let you know how much we appreciate you, Raider Nation. Love you guys so very, very much for your support of Raiders Fan Radio. And even if you can't support the show monetarily, like Justin just did there with a super chat, all we would ask is just for a like, hit a subscribe, hit a thumbs up, tell a Raider friend about us. Anything we can do to support the show. It's not about lifting up necessarily this show. It's about lifting up the One Nation Foundation. And we can't do that without advertising dollars and attention and all that good stuff. So that's why we ask you for those things. And so we thank you very, very much. And speaking of advertising partners, we are brought to you by the good folks at FanDuel. We're going to get to some FanDuel odds here in just a minute, but we are very thankful for the folks at FanDuel and their support of Raiders Fan Radio. We got our FanDuel money today. It was like so nice to see that come through and hit the foundation's checking account there. It's like, all right on FanDuel. Like, thank you. And that's all based on you guys, and that's because of the the listenership and the viewership here on the YouTubes and all that stuff. We can't do that without you all. So thank you to you all and your support of Raiders Fan Radio, because then it gives FanDuel a reason to pay attention to us and pay us. So we want the money because we want to give it to the foundation so we can give it to some amazing Raiders related charities. We are also brought to you by the good folks at the Believe Network. And as far as the audio version of this podcast, you can find us on that network. And we thank those folks very, very much for their support of Raiders Fan Radio. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the episode numbers. It's going to be a quick show, probably going to go about an hour tonight. And that's going to be about it. I got a few emails to get to, a couple emails to get to, a few phone calls to get to, and then we're going to get out. And there's a lot of, man, there's so much stuff to talk about that we'll dig into a little bit, but I want to especially hear your guys' feedback because, this show is conversational when it's at its best. I don't like doing these kinds of selfies at all because I don't ever want to be a talking head. I don't ever want to just sit here and just pontificate and just be like, here's my opinion and deal with it. No, I want to interact and I want to have a conversation. So I love to see that the chat room is going tonight, and I can't wait to keep up with it as much as I possibly can. So I want to hear your answers on this stuff too. Hooligan Nation there with a $20 donation. Thank you, Hooligan. Says Merry Christmas. Happy Crimbo to the One Nation Foundation. I don't know what Crimbo is. Educate me. But he says, Merry Christmas, Happy Crimbo to the One Nation Foundation. Thank you so very, very much. Hey, my buddy Johnny Wilcock is in there. That's one of my buddies from Twitter, man. I'm not a big social media guy, but I love Twitter. Oh, let me tell you guys this real quick. So it was funny because I put a lot of stuff out there. I put a lot of just whatever during a game. I'll just make a tweet, or sometimes after a show, I'll make a little cut up of a video and put it out there. And somebody hit me with, oh, look at this guy, looking to farm engagement kind of a thing or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That's the whole point. It's not about doing it to celebrate self. It's because I'm not sorry. I genuinely have an interest in engaging with Raider Nation. And I can only engage with so much of Raider Nation because I live outside of Nashville, Tennessee, in a rural ass part of Nashville, Tennessee, where I got to truck in sunlight and the internet around here, for crying out loud. I grew up in the Bay Area of California, but it's been an awful long time since I've lived there. I'm not around a lot of Raider fans. So I love the idea that I can interact with Raider fans on Twitter. And so, yes, I do say things because I'm genuinely curious to what other people have to say about it. Not because I'm trying to drive up some clickbaity bullshit, like thing or anything like that. It's just like, I want to know, like, hey, here's what I think about this Raider topic. What do other Raider fans, what do you think about it? Tell me. Like, so that idea of like, oh, you're just doing this to engage. Yeah, that's the whole fucking point, man. I want to engage. I want to engage with the chat room. It's why I love reading it. So anyways, there's off my soapbox. I'm in a soapbox a lot because there's no one there to keep me in check except the dog, and he's asleep over there. All right, so here at the top of the show, we always take our episode number and tie it back to something significant within Raider Nation. And as I mentioned, this is episode number 397 of Raiders Fan Radio. Where is my, oh, here it is. 397 Raiders Fan Radio. So this is cool, I guess. Oh, dang it, I got to get contact info. Okay, here we go. This is cool, I guess. In 2023, wide receiver Devontae Adams had 33 receptions for 397 yards and 3 touchdowns through the first 4 games of the season. There you go, 397.
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murf would say it, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, the Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio, Insta something, Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio, the tiki-tiki-taki-talk, TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. All right. So, as I mentioned, we are brought to you by the good folks at FanDuel. We cannot thank them for their partnership and their support, Raiders Fan Radio, enough. And so this week, Swag Jeff put out this tweet a little while ago. This week, the Raiders are favored. We are a -1.5 as we take on the New York Giants at Allegiant Stadium. But, as Jeff says, the under is 41.5. I don't know if y'all are, how much your attention you're paying to Raider games this year, but the under hits a lot. It didn't hit this last week because we had a scoring explosion thanks to freaking Ashton Genty, for crying out loud, which was great. And so it's like, wow, okay, well, we missed that under, but it sure is nice to see our freaking number 6 overall draft pick actually getting featured. But anyway, so the under is 41.5 at a -110. That's in terms of the payout. But man, I think that's a pretty solid bet. I'm still going to take the under. Give me the under against the Giants. Their offense is struggling after Brian Daboll has been fired. That I forget the name of the new coach that they've got, but he's not been great with that offense, and they're dipping off, and especially after Scatterboo got hurt, and everything's kind of stacking up on the Giants. And I don't see the Raiders, blowing it out here. I am nervous about them winning the game, which we'll get to here in a minute. But right now, that's scary for us, that those of us that want the Raiders to draft a quarterback in the first round this year, that they are actually favored to win this game. So, but anyways, more importantly, though, if you're going to bet, if you're going to put some money out there, do it with the good folks at FanDuel. Go with the good folks that support this show. It's the biggest sports book that there is in the world, and we appreciate them so very, very much for their sponsorship. All right. I can't, I'm busting at the seams here. I can't wait to talk about this freaking football team. All right. So let's get to it, man. So there's a lot. Okay. You guys want to do the Giants game first? Let's do the Giants game first. I have right here some notes for you. So this is why, isn't it so weird that here we have this game between two 2-win football teams, second to the last week of the season, and it's a massive game. But it's not because we're both good. It's because we're both historically bad. Like, what a wild-ass position for us to be as fan bases, not only for the Giants, but especially for the Raiders, because they got their quarterback. They got their guy. Here I have been pontificating on these microphones for all this time about how you get these high-round or at least first-round draft picks, then you couple them up with an offensive-minded head coach, and all of a sudden you start to see some success happen. You watch the next guy. It's going to be a Kubiak, or it's going to be Joe Brady, or it's going to be somebody is going to come in and coach the New York Giants next year, and you watch. Jackson Dart's going to go whoop through the roof. We're going to see that guy's career take off. And so it's really interesting, the dynamic between these two football teams, because they don't need an early round pick because they've got their guy. They're entering into their quarterback rookie wage scale window to start to build up their weak ass defense and everything else that they struggle against. And then here we have our Raiders, who are desperate for a first round quarterback. The only known one is going to be Mendoza. We don't know. There's still a little bit of a question mark if Ty Simpson would come out. A lot of people got questions about that kid to begin with. I don't. I like him a lot. I really loved his interview he did with the Bussin' guys that just dropped, I think, yesterday or today. I like Ty Simpson. People, a lot of people are like, oh, he's too small. Man, like, I'm sorry, 6'2" is not too small, and everybody in the NFL blows up their height. I understand that 6'4" is ideal, but as quarterbacks have gotten more athletic, when you look at the trend across the league, they are a little bit shorter in stature. 6'2" is not the end of the world, okay? We're not talking about Dylan, or what's his name? Diego. You know what I mean? At a Vanderbilt. We're not talking about a guy like that who's like Russ size, like 6 foot barely or whatever. So I think we're fine there. The kid's got no offensive line in front of him, and he still pulls out a lot of W's. Like, give me that guy. Give me the guy that makes the big-time throws. Give me the guy that's the Kenny Stabler, who's not always great, but he's always great when he has to be. Like, I'm curious. I want to see leadership and winning. The end. Like, of course, those intangibles and all that stuff will shake out as we go through the combine process. But anyways, I'm not sitting here trying to sell you on Ty Simpson. What I am trying to sell you on the idea is that it's Mendoza by far, right? Then you got Simpson, maybe, but a lot of people love Dante Moore out of Oregon, right? Well, he's a real big question mark whether he's going to come out or not. I know he can make about an average of $10 million a year if he comes out as a top 5 draft pick. We know that. We know that he's got an opportunity to make more money in the NFL than he would with Oregon, but he's still going to make probably $3 million with Oregon. And like, that's nothing to freaking shake a stick at, and he's way younger, right? So like, I just think that it's going to be interesting in terms of like where this thing is going to play out, because if Moore and Simpson are there also with Mendoza, well, then we're feeling pretty safe, because even if we lose this game against the Giants, and God forbid I say God forbid we lose to the Chiefs. Never thought those words had ever come out of my mouth. But if we ever freaking lost both these games, at worst we'd be at 7. There's still an opportunity, because that's how it's going to work out. Let me give you these. So the odds to get the number 1 draft pick, 50% is for the Raiders, 27% for the Giants, 14% for the Browns, 9% for the Jets. Here's the breakdown by the scenario. If we sweep the last 2 games, so if we win the last 2 games, there's 0 chance for us getting to number 1. If we lose the last 2 games, we will be the number 1 pick. If we lose to the Giants and beat the Chiefs, there's a 36% chance. If we beat the Giants and lose to the Chiefs, there's an 11% chance that we could. Okay, so it's dang it. If we're going to finally truly go quarterback, and this is what we don't know, and this is what's wild. There's a small chance, and we're going to get to a whole Pete Carroll segment here, so I'll save part of it. There's a small chance we retain Pete Carroll. Y'all, and if that happens, we're retaining Geno Smith. And if that happens, I don't think they're drafting a quarterback. And I think that would be a massive, massive mistake. and an oversight and everything else negatively you could attribute to the growth and opportunity for this football team. I just think it would be an abject disaster if that's the way this thing goes. So that said, is assuming hopefully it doesn't, the Raiders are going to be in the market for a quarterback here at the top. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this thing goes. I've always said on this mic that I will never root for the Raiders to lose, and I don't care where they draft. I just want them to draft the best players they can that best service the football team at the time in which they draft. And I truly believe that. But knowing also that quarterback is the most important position in all of team sports. It's the most coveted thing. We've got to get a QB, man. And because it just opens up so many opportunities for your football team, because it's not about just even getting the quarterback. You have the advantage of the rookie wage scale, so you can overspend if need be in other areas. You can build up your defense. You can build up free agency, or you can build up an offensive line in free agency. If I hear another person tell me that, like, oh, you got to focus on the offensive line first. No, you can do both. They're not exclusive to one another. It's not like, okay, you can only get a quarterback this year. No, you get a quarterback and then you freaking build around them, whether that be through the draft or that be with free agency. You just take the model of the Raiders when we drafted Derek Carr high in the second round, drafted Gabe Jackson to play guard, and then you built up around him in free agency with Kelechi Osemele, with Rodney Hudson, with Donald Penn, even that Austin Howard. Like, you can do both, you know? And so I think that's got to be the direction for the Raiders. And if it's not, I think there was going to be a very large chunk of us that are going to be disappointed. So all that said, this game against the Giants is massive for both teams, but especially for our team. And so I'm curious to see where it's going to go, man. So we're going to be in Vegas for the last game of the season against Kansas City. I was talking to Swag Jeff earlier today, and it's like, okay, if we lose this game against the Giants, so literally the first round pick or the number one overall pick will be on the line when we play the Chiefs. It's going to be such a wild ass dynamic. The idea that everyone there won't be disappointed if the Raiders lose, because we know it's going to be probably 70% Chiefs fans anyways. So the 30% of us Raider fans, are we like, how, like it's such a wild ass dynamic. It's such a wild ass place to be in fandom. This is the first time I can remember, and I know many of you as well. I can never remember being in a position like this as a fan where I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm almost rooting for it, man. And that's wild. Like, so goes against my spirit, my fan heart. Like, it's crazy to think about that idea that I would be in Allegiant Stadium watching for the first time ever, watching them take on their rivals in the Chiefs. I've seen them play the Donkeys. I've seen them play the Chargers. I've never seen them play the Chiefs. That I would actually be at a home Raider game watching them play the Chiefs and not be disappointed if they lose and kind of rooting for it. Fuck. What a wild ass idea. It's just crazy. So anyways, a lot going on this week. Let me catch up with the chat room here a little bit, see what you guys got going on. Chiefs fans are checked out. There won't be many Chiefs fans there unless they plan their Christmas around it. That's the thing, Greg, is that we're coming off of, Greg Brayman is who said that we're coming off of freaking New Year's Eve. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, hey, let's go do New Year's in Vegas and watch the Chiefs beat the shit out of the Raiders on Sunday. What if we lose to New York Giants and then tie with Case? Martin, stop it. We're not doing ties. Yeah, Johnny Wilcock in there says that's weird to be happy for a loss. Brother, I agree with you, man. It's freaking strange. Let's see. Elf, I'm sorry. Whatever. No, 2026. You know who you are. Get the QB, stock up on other positions like the trenches, 100%. Free agency in the draft. Let's see. Big Red Raider says the quarterback will bring the coach. Right now, we have a running back and a tight end and some decent wide receivers on offense. That's not enough with the line and no QB. I'm with you. So anybody that's been out there being like, Who's going to want to come and coach the Raiders? Well, if you give them the opportunity to have a freaking high prospect quarterback, then yeah, coaches will want to come. Then obviously you're going to hire the coach before you freaking, head into the draft. So you can tell that coach, yes, look, we're focused on getting you a young quarterback that you can mold and build and all that kind of stuff. So absolutely. So Colorado Raider in there, winning these last 2 games is zero consolation for a very shitty season. If they keep the gum assassin and number 7 in 2026, I'm not sure if I can be a fan the way I've been for decades. Yeah, brother, that's been a common theme. So let's go and get into that. That was a theme that started, at least for my awareness, with Mo Moten and Scott Branson brought that up, and mainly Mo. This idea of Pete coming back, and it's freaking crazy, man. This idea that he wouldn't be on the hot seat, but because we all assume that he is, and when you look at and listen to some of the most prominent voices in the NFL, they will tell you that he is. So let's kick this thing off by checking out Ian Rappaport on NFL Network talking about Pete Carroll before the game this last week.
All right. I will start here. It's that time of year we talk about the future of several head coaches, and I will start with the Las Vegas Raiders and Pete Carroll. Safe to say, based on reporting from all of us, that Pete Carroll's future is in doubt in Las Vegas. It has been a brutal season. His handpicked quarterback, Geno Smith, been among the worst in the NFL. He has fired not one, but 2 coordinators, including Chip Kelly. The offense has been certainly a mess, and they have not won in a very long time. Now, Mark Davis is his own guy. He's obviously listening to several viewpoints in the building, including from Tom Brady. He is his own guy and hasn't been known to surprise us. But certainly seems, guys, that the competition for the number 1 pick is probably the only positive that's going to come out of the Raiders season.
All right, so there you go. So it's on the national radar that Pete Carroll may not be back, and he shouldn't be. I mean, there's, bringing him back for the sake of continuity it just doesn't make any damn sense, man. It's like when I understand continuity, and I understand the value of continuity, and I understand the value of keeping the same people in the building and all that. But when things aren't going well, you don't lean into them. And when you look at where our Raiders are, they are historically bad. And I rattled off a whole bunch of stats last week, and I'm going to give you guys some more tonight. That this is, if you're asking yourself the question, well, should they bring Pete back? I'm going to give you more ammunition on why not, okay? Because when you're historically bad for a team that's been around since 1960, then that is the biggest of blemishes on your career as a head coach. So after yesterday's games, the Raiders now have the worst point differential in the NFL this season at negative 169. They move ahead of the Jets. Raiders move ahead of the Jets and now have the second worst point differential since Mark Davis took over. The Raiders are, this one hurt, 434, 4 wins, 435 losses, and 6 ties in the regular season since the 1970 merger. This is the first time the Raiders have a losing record in the NFL since they started the 1970 season, 1-2. The worst winning percentage for a Raiders coach through 10 games. Marty Feldman had a .118 winning percentage. That was in 1961 to 1962. Partway through the season anyways, he gets fired. Red Conkright comes in and takes over and goes 1-8 before Al steps in. Okay, so the worst ever through 10 games, a .118 winning percentage. You know who's number 2? Pete the Gum Assassin Carroll at 2-13 for a 133 winning percentage. The Raiders are 2-13 after losing to the Texans. The only seasons when the Raiders started 2-13 or worse was said 1962 season I just mentioned. We went 1-13 for the entire season, and 2006. Y'all, it's past bad. It's in this. I'm not going to call them any names. But Peepaw will go up there on the podium and try to gaslight us as fans and tell us that things are this and things are that. And it's like, bro, we got eyeballs. We watch this. We live this shit every single week. You can't go up there and tell us that you're going to have a youth movement and then not start any of the young guys until some of your other guys start getting hurt. What are you doing? You can't tell us that Stone Forsythe is playing some of his best ball of his career and he leads the league in sacks allowed. You can't tell us that Geno Smith is out there throwing a good ball and that it was just the way that the game dictated that all of a sudden now he leads the league in interceptions. What, like, all these things, it's like, dude, like, you just act like we're like, they think we don't pay attention. From the Raiders social media team to the coach to anything, it's like, you guys just put on this like, oh no, everything's okay. And they're like, well, no, it's not. It's shit. And Pete, and you're the freaking epicenter of the shit. I'm sorry, Peepaw. Like, you got to bail, man. Like, we're done. Raider Nation is so done with this whole Pete Carroll thing. And one of the things I think that really runs against us is his rah-rah, like, again, bullshitty ass, like, I'm okay, you're okay thing that he's got going on. Because that's not what it is to be a Raider. And I brought up a little while ago on maybe even be the last show, like the idea about the Raiders, like they need to stop chasing ghosts. Okay. Like we don't want our shouldn't be now like chasing things from the past. Like we don't need to be bringing back Gruden. We don't need to be bringing back Carr. We don't need to be like, no, you have to pave a new path for whatever version of the Raiders that you're going to have. That said, don't abandon your identity. And it feels like we've abandoned our identity and we're chasing ghosts. It's like the worst of freaking both worlds. And so Pete Carroll doesn't fit in either one of those things. And so to like really like, I think put it together in terms of like being a Raiders head coach, no one explained it better to me in recent history than Jack Del Rio did. Jack Del Rio was on the Coach's Cut podcast with Mike Tice. And I got a lot of respect, man, for JDR. And the further we get away from that Reggie McKenzie, JDR, Raiders teams, the more and more respect I have for those guys because they got it. And I know that McKenzie lost his fastball in terms of the draft towards the end of his career. And I know, Del Rio kind of lost the locker room and, we got beat by the Chargers on a soccer field in Los Angeles. Like, I get it, man. I'm not trying to like pretend like everything was just fine back then, but man, they were on to something. And if it weren't for Derek getting hurt, I think we were on the verge of something seriously great in terms of the Raiders. And so here's what Jack Del Rio had to say about what it is to be a coach of the Raiders. And check this out, man. These words really resonated with me.
Look, you're asking me my opinion. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not trying to crush the guy or anything. But it's a little bit to me, they're not really, I talk about buy-in. I don't see or feel the buy-in from his messaging,
Yeah.
And, Pete's always had kind of more of a collegiate kind of a raw type of,
Right.
Mentality. And I don't know that fits the Raiders. The Raiders are, John Madden doesn't care about rules. Just go out there and kick somebody's. I mean, that's what the Raiders are about. And that's what they were about when we were there. So, when we were together there in Oakland,
Oh, yeah.
Our teams were physical.
Yeah, we were beating some people up. Yeah.
Yeah. And, and to me, it starts in the trenches. They have a lot of work to do, man. And heck, they're finally playing the offensive lineman. They finally put him in the game.
Oh, I know.
Like, he hadn't played the whole year. A draft pick. That's just crazy to me.
Well, even not just him, Jack, but a lot of their young players, they were out of the play. They were the first team eliminated from the playoffs. And they're still not playing some of the young guys to see if that's, where they're going in the future. I mean, it's shaky, man. It's not good, but
yeah. Raiders. It stung when Mark let me go, the way he did when he did. He just was in so much in love with Grudog, and he couldn't help himself. But he was honest the whole time. He told me, He told me if I could ever get Gruden, that's what I'm going to do. So, I mean, it's not like he was, behind my back, not being honest about it. That's the guy he really wanted. He got him. Unfortunately, John didn't do what we did. I mean, we had a hell of a team going there, and it got blown up. It's a shame. They haven't been back since. So
no, we
maybe Del Rio should be back with the Raiders.
Let's do it. Yeah,
well,
I agree. You don't want to bring. Nothing
baby.
against Josh McDaniel. He's doing a great job in New England, but that mentality, that kind of persona, like you're saying, that personality doesn't fit with the Raiders. Josh is a nice guy.
Yeah. No, you got to think. All you got to do is think about John Madden.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything John Madden was about, and Al Davis and what the Raiders have been about, is going out there and kicking some.
God dang, I can't tell you how much I love that. I love it, man. Yeah, just look at John Madden. Like, I understand that it's a different league, and I understand that it's a different, rule set and like all that stuff, and those nasty Raider teams of the 70s and early 80s. I know that you can't do that, but I've implored with just like, and I'm a dopey podcaster here. My voice only goes so far. And thank you to all 63 of you in the chat room tonight that are choosing to listen to it. Thank you so much. But it's like, you can be a version of the Raiders in 2025 that still harkens to that, to that identity and that idea that, you don't have to chase a ghost, and you can establish a new version of it. And I think no one epitomizes that more than Max Crosby. I think that, we're starting to see that now in Brock Bowers, that, the tight end play. When you look at the greatness of the Raiders at tight end, from Raymond Chester to, Dave Casper to Todd Christensen, and even Zach Miller for a minute, and Darren Waller for a minute, and like all those guys, man, like there's greatness at that. And I think Brock has an opportunity to be better than all those guys. And one of those is a Hall of Famer. So anyways, all that said, like you can be a newer version of what your identity is as a football team. You think about I hate talking about them, but what do the Pittsburgh Steelers do when they win championships? They play badass, aggressive defense, and they run the shit out of the football. Like, that's what they do. Like, that's their identity. It's been their identity for 60 freaking years. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the Raiders' identity? Aggressive defense, man press, offensive, rushing the quarterback, offensively, stretching the field, the deep ball. You know what I mean? The freaking, an electrifying running game. Like all those things, like there was different versions of that. You had everything from the old days, from, in terms of running game, guys like Clem Daniels, and you get into freaking, Van Egan, and you get into the later guys, and you get, even Banaszak wasn't like a dynamic player. He was more of a ground and pound. But anyways, you get my point though. And then you go from that, then you go into like Marcus, and I'm forgetting people, so chat room check me for sure. But you go into those, and then you go into the later versions of the Raiders, and it was like, Napoleon Kaufman, and you had Charlie Garner, and then you had freaking oh my gosh, the freaking who was homie that played with in 2016? Oh my gosh, somebody help me. The guy from 2016 was such a badass running back for us, and he went to the Saints. What was his name? That's awful. This is 53 years old brain showing up here. Sorry, guys. But anyways, so was it Murray? No, whatever. Anyways, but so one of the things that I'm trying to get to is that there are certain things that define what it is to be a Raider coach, certain things define what it is to be a Raider player, and especially when we're talking about running backs. And Ashton Genty, man, that dude had such a freaking badass game. I'm so thankful that they finally chose to feature that young man. He's the number 6 overall draft pick and absolutely should have been featured earlier this season. I think that there are a lot more W's for the Raiders, certainly a lot more success on the field if they would have done it earlier this year. So let me give you some stats. Raiders running back Ashton Genty is the 4th rookie with a touchdown run and a touchdown catch of 50-plus yards in a game. The only others to do it were Clinton Portis in 2002, Jimmy Thomas versus the Bears in 1969, and Gale Sayers versus the 49ers in 1965. Latavius Murray, thank you very, very much Storm. Thank you so much. I don't know why that left my brain, but it did. Ashton Jeanty is the third Raiders player with a touchdown. Or are they ready to do that one? Oh, no, this is a different one. Ashton Jeanty, third Raiders player with a touchdown run and touchdown catch of 50-plus yards in one game. The only others to do it were Darren McFadden versus the Jaguars in 2010 and Clem Daniels versus the Jets in 1963. Raiders rookies with 175 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. Ashton Jeanty versus the Texans that we just saw, and Bo Jackson in 1987 versus the Seahawks. Ashton Jeanty's 60-yard touchdown reception was the longest touchdown catch by a Raiders rookie running back since Charlie Fuller caught an 85-yard touchdown pass from Tom Flores in 1961. And then the last one I'll give you is this. Ashton Jeanty is the third running back since the merger with 5 or more touchdown catches as a rookie. The only other 2 to do it were Christian McCaffrey in 2017 and Alvin Kamara in 2017. Listen, man, if that's the kind of talent that we're talking about the same level and same playing field as all those other greats that we just talked about, Ashton Jeanty is going to be something seriously special. And if they don't choose to feature him more in these last 2 games, they have lost their goddamn mind, because that guy, even though as much as we want the Raiders to quote lose, I mean, that guy, you got to feature him. You got to feed him. You know, he's special. He has serious opportunity to be something special. And can you imagine a Raider team with a special running back, a special freaking tight end? Like, let's build up that offensive line and let's draft a quarterback that has the opportunity to be something special. Let's hang on to Max Crosby. We'll have something special coming off the edge. All those great Raider players that we had that could rush the quarterback, Greg Townsend and whatnot. Like, there is things here. There are things to latch onto, Raider Nation. It's not all abysmal and dark, although it feels that way right now. But they got to get their shit together, man. Like, they got to get their shit together. And we'll see. I mean, remains to be seen whether that's going to happen. All right, last thing I want to give you is this before we get to I got a Raiders and pop culture for you, and it is Christmas, and so I got a good Raiders and pop culture for you. But before we get to that, this idea that, like, yes, we do need to get a quarterback, and we got to have a quarterback bad, okay? There is a certain segment of Raider Nation out there on social media and otherwise that are like, yeah, but you don't want to give up too much. You know, we're like, yeah, you know, maybe we got to build up these other areas first. Listen, man, we got to have a quarterback. I mean, I talk about at the top of the show. It's the most important position in all of team sports. And I think a very, very good example that really resonates with me here lately, and I hope it does with you too, is that Brandon Beane, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, when he drafted Josh Allen, there was a lot of criticism out there about how much he gave up to draft Josh Allen. And when confronted with how much he gave up to draft Josh Allen, this is what he said.
We got criticized a little bit for how much we gave up for Josh. And I'm like, well, if he doesn't work out, I'm not going to be here anyway. And if he does work out, nobody's going to give a shit.
There can't be any better explanation about why you sell the farm to get a quarterback in the first round than that right there. Because if the player works, if we had Josh Allen, no one gives a shit. That's it. No one cares. No one cares how much you gave up or where you drafted him, whatever. No, you have a Hall of Fame quarterback. The end. No one is going to care about what you have to do to get that quarterback. And then if it doesn't work out, well, then you're gone anyways. Ask Tom Telesco. Ask Tom Telesco why he's not the general manager of your Las Vegas Raiders anymore, because he didn't get the quarterback. You got to get a quarterback. So Spytek, man, take note, brother, because we freaking need one. So anyways, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hit a break here. Appreciate you all. Let me shout the chat room real quick before we get to a break. That's a funny name. We'll just call him Eaton. Angel is in there. We appreciate you, Angel, very much. Paul is in there. Johnny is in there. Misguided Dan? Oh, Misguided Dan is in there. Wolfpack Raider. Hey, we got a call from you coming up very soon, Wolfpack Raider. Silver and Fax is in there. Foxy Scorpio is in there. Appreciate you very much. I appreciate Greg Brayman. I appreciate all of you so very, very much. Colorado Raider, thank you so much for checking in for this selfie episode. I can't stand selfies, so let me stop talking because let's get to you, because more of you and less of me is definitely a good thing. So I'm going to hit a break here, and then we're going to jump into Raiders and pop culture before we get to the Sea of Fans.
Saddle up, little buckaroos. Raiders fans are for life. Other podcasts have taken the long dirt nap. But you've got Raiders Fan Radio. We're the wagon you've hitched your horses to. Mosey along with us as we ride out of the light and ride off into the dark side.
Need some refreshment? Sip Real. At HTO, you can dive into dozens of flavors of real and real refreshing iced tea. Mix and match your faves or grab a gallon to go. HTO, real tea, real refreshing.
All right, sorry to those of you that I butchered your name in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with all this stuff. I'm trying to produce a show and keep up on my phone and all that stuff, so I apologize. But appreciate Robert is in there. I missed a few in there. Appreciate Robert. Misguided Angel, that's it. So appreciate you very, very much for hanging in there. Now all 82 of you that are in the chat room. All right, so as I mentioned, let's do Raiders of Pop Culture. So this is Christmas, okay? And, or whatever season, whatever holiday you choose to celebrate. For me in my house, we choose to celebrate Christmas. And so this is the Christmas season for us. And so one of the things I thought was super cool was, and this is a Raiders and Pop Culture segment, by the way, where we do something that happens that's, crosses over, right? So something about the Raiders that ends up in, a song or ends up on a TV show or a movie or whatever, right? Different areas. But this one I always liked, and we've kind of talked about this before, but so the great John Facenda, the legendary John Facenda. For those of you that don't know who John Facenda is, he is this guy, and you will recognize him immediately. I promise anybody that's watching this show, because this is what he did.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea.
All right, so you know that, right? You know the legendary John Facenda, voice of NFL films, narrated numerous NFL films, highlight reels, including that right there, The Autumn Wind, and also the very last thing that he did for NFL films before he died was the Raiders Black Sunday, okay? So he did the Raiders Black Sunday, and that's when, we beat the oh my gosh, my freaking January 22nd, 1984, and we beat the then Washington Redskins at the Big Sombrero in Tampa Bay. So he narrates that. He narrates that highlight reel, and it is absolutely incredible. It's my absolute all-time favorite Raider highlight of all time. So he has the voice, and a lot of people would say that he had back then, quote, the voice of God, right? Like now people would say that about Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones or whatever, right? But like back then it was John Facenda. Well, so John Facenda, he was an old school Philadelphia radio guy before NFL Films and Steve Sable and his dad hired him to go work for NFL Films. So he has this long historic career before that of doing voiceover work. And one of the things that he did was, here's the Raiders in Pop Culture, he did the Christmas Story. And you can find it on YouTube. If you just search John Facenda, The Nativity, it's like a 30-minute long, I made my wife listen to it a couple of years ago. It's like a 30-minute long narration of John Facenda reading The Nativity. And it's beautiful. I love it. It's such a cool, hearing the voice of that so identifies with the Raiders, reading the story of Christmas is so freaking cool. So I did something that I hope you guys like. I did a little bit of a mashup here, and I took The Autumn Wind, and then I condensed he has this like 3-minute opening before he gets into the story of Christmas. And I took it and kind of condensed it down to lead in to this very familiar piece of music that you guys know. So check this out. This is John Facenda, the voice of so many very brilliant Raider times and moments. Synonymous, we'll say, with the Raiders. And then talking about Christmas. Check it out.
Once again, it's time for the story of Christmas. We know that this will never change, that always there will be for each of us another dawn of Christmas Day, and with its light would come some small measure of the love and kindness that we owe to one another, some slight feeling of humility and gratitude for the greatest gift the world has ever known, the Son of God, Savior of mankind. Oh, we have heard it said 1,000 times that Christmas is for children. It is also for those who have retained the innocence of their early years, or who have regained the spirit of their youth. So to all those who are young in heart, here is the story of Christmas, the most beautiful story that's ever been told.
All right, there we go. Hope you guys liked that. That was pretty fun to put together tonight. That's the legendary John Facenda, and of course the autumn wind behind him. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is where we get to hear from you, because more of you and less of me, especially tonight, is a good thing. And I just got to find the damn thing. Here it is.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he's thrown. It is.
All right, so we appreciate you, Raider Nation, so very, very much. And you can contact us a multitude of ways. You can jump into the chat room at youtube.com/RaidersFanRadio and jump in there with the most amazing chat room in all of sports, if you ask us. And we appreciate Misguided Angel that's in there. Johnny is in there, Colorado Raider. Paul is in there. Raider Rick is in there. Storm, of course, is in there, keeping me in check, as always. Maitland is in there. Mystic is in there. We appreciate you, Greg Brayman. So many of our good friends are in the chat room tonight. And again, as I mentioned, this is where we hear from you. And you can contact us not only in that chat room, but also by emailing the show at show, that is SHOW, at RaidersFanRadio.com. And if we read your email in an indefinite amount of times, you can become the next made man or made maiden here at Raiders Fan Radio, or you can call the show at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. And if we play your message 3 or more times, you can become the next made man or made maiden. All right, but we're going to get to the emails first. Normally, Michelle reads these, or Jeff reads these, or Vinny reads these, or Uncle Mosh reads these. There ain't nobody here. Bomber can't read, so I'm going to read these to you. So there's only 2. And they're both coming from the UK. So shout out our brothers in the UK, where I think it's Christmas Eve over there already. And so thank you to our good friends, starting off with Martin. Let's go see. He says, morning. Wishing everyone a happy version of whatever holiday they celebrate this time of year. Goodness, isn't political correctness exhausting? Thanks to the whole RFR team and the wonderful, loyal, and generous folk in the chat. You really are the highlight of my week. Stay safe, folks. Martin. Thank you, Martin. And yeah, man, I'm with you, Ben. I'll save you my, not political, but I'll save you my soapbox. And I'm like, you get to an age, I'm just like, I can't keep up. I'm just gonna, we celebrate Christmas. I say Merry Christmas, and if you don't, then cool. Like, tell me about the thing that you celebrate, and I'll respect that. You know what I mean? But like, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just not trying to keep up with all the everything anymore. But I'm also an old guy. Get off my lawn. Season's greetings, everybody. Just a short festive email after we nearly saw a Christmas miracle in Houston on Sunday. Almost. We saw a little grit and spirit from the guys and almost came away with a win. I hate myself for not wanting the W, but I've only got that number one pick in mind now, and anything else will complete the worst of seasons. It doesn't mean we've turned a corner, though. It doesn't mean we should change our minds on firing everyone. We should still be starting from scratch. What it does mean is we might just win our last 2 games. Play like that against the Giants, and we could see a win, and the Chiefs are now down to their number 3 quarterback, so anything could happen there as well. I believe this is now a genuine concern for us. We have to protect our chances at a number 1 pick. It's crucial going forward, and I don't like the sound of 4-13. Ugh. The game against the Giants now takes on a whole new identity. Brother, thank you. I love it when you all are vibing with the stuff that I've been spewing about earlier in the show, man. Thank you. The Tank Bowl, as now some have called it, or the Shit Bowl to others. We can't blow this opportunity for ourselves, can we? Do you know, I think we just might. Oh, man. Have a great Christmas, everybody. Stay safe. RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Polly Award winner 2019 and 2022. Foggy Glasses Award winner in 2020. Made Man of the Year 2024. RFR Maverick Award winner in 2025. BRT Sizzler Scorekeeper. Proud Made Man. Five-time winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Paul. 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 Claude. 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 Paul. 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 Paul.
Paul. Your name, Paul?
Hello.
Paul.
Hello.
Paul.
I met him with
Paul. Who?
Paul. Paul. Yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Darn right you are, Paul, and we appreciate you, brother, so very, very much. Also appreciate Jay from PA in the chat room in there just jumping on, but I have to say, it feels like we've been a day late and $1 short on everything. Let's change it. Absolutely, with a $4.99 donation to the foundation. Thank you, Jay. And thank you, Paul, brother. I'm with you, man. Like, I don't, it's totally on the table. If we play like we did against the Texans, we're going to smoke the Giants. These are both home games for us, too, against the Giants and KC, man. So I'm with you, man. I'm scared. And that's not just, oh, man, I guess we kind of talked about it already. That just kind of suck that, like, we're afraid to win games. Like, that's how far we've fallen. That's how bad this thing has gotten, that we don't want to watch the Raiders win. Like, we don't want to see them beat a freaking Giants team and even worse, our arch rival. Oh, man. Tough times, y'all. All right, next up, let's get to the calls here. And starting off, we've got our buddy in North Carolina. He is Wolfpack Raider.
Murf, what's going on, man? Wolfpack Raider out of North Carolina. I swear to God, I can't remember the last time I was so scared about winning a game. It's the one thing we can't do. And I can't even be excited about being close to Houston, because what does that do? I mean, I'd like to say, oh, great, we can have something to work towards in the future, but why? We don't want to give Pete another chance. That's pointless. We drop to 7, we get no quarterback, we get no coach, and we're right back in hell. It's a never-ending cycle. It's like the worst possible thing that could happen is to win games, and I hate feeling that way, but it's the truth. So, yeah. Anyway, weird emotions here. Hopefully the Giants care more than we do, and we can let Gina throw a few more interceptions, and we can round out with 2 more losses and have some different conversations in the new year. Anyway, take care, brother. Appreciate the show. Go Raiders.
Hey, love it, Wolfpack. Yeah, man. Like right on time, man. Absolutely, man. It's I think if anything, out of this whole next couple of weeks coming up, is that's the thing that I'm going to really lean into to paying attention to the feedback from others on, is that where are you at in your fandom, because it's such a wild ass place to be. You know, I think that's kind of been the definitive thing to come out of these last couple of weeks in the show and all that stuff, is that it's just, we're all in I mean, because Michelle's not like that. Jeff's not like that. Uncle Mosh is not like that. Like, none of us would ever embrace failure. And I know of so many of you, none of you would embrace that in your life. It's, you kind of have to learn to deal with losing in real life, because you will get passed over for a job, or you ask a girl out and that turns you down, or you don't get into a school you're trying to get into or whatever. So there is a portion of life that you have to learn to deal with it, but it doesn't mean you have to like it. And this is the only area of my life where I'm like, I kind of like it if we lose. Oh, that sucks. Holy shit, this is rough. Anyways, all right, we got one more to get to. Let's check in with our buddy Jay from PA.
Hey guys, it's Jay from PA. I'm just going to open up this call with death, taxes, and the Raiders winning meaningless, stupid games at the end of the year for those quote-unquote culture-building games. You know, they haven't played them yet, but if you go 2-0 against this was a completely wasted season. You then drop to 7th in the draft order. And for all those people out there that are, well, I just want wins. Okay, and that's fine. I would never tell someone how to Raider. But I want you to keep that same energy when they can't go up and get Mendoza or more from 7. Because that's going to cost a pick swap this year, a 2027 first, and a 2028 first. And I'm going to tell you, the Rams, the Jets, and the Browns all have a lot more draft capital than the Raiders do. It's so frustrating and embarrassing to have this. You were by far the worst team in the goddamn league.
Whoa.
But you're going to win those 2 meaningless games with Geno Smith. You know what the Jets are doing? They're starting their third-round their third on the depth chart quarterback. That's a tank. You know what else is a tank? The Giants were competitive for most of the year. Yeah, they lost a lot of games, but they were competitive. They fell off quick because they know what they're doing. The Raiders will forever be that team that just sucks at getting the right situation. Sorry for all that. Just had to rant.
Hey, man, do
Tell
it.
me what you guys think and how you guys are feeling. Love what you guys do.
There he is, Jay from PA. Impassioned. Yeah, Jay, all I can do, brother, is just hope that this is the one time that things might be different, man. You know, we've drafted 4 first-round quarterbacks. Y'all, let this one sink in. 4 first-round quarterbacks in the history of our entire organization, and only 2 of them actually played for the Raiders, because one was Roman Gabriel in like 1962 or something, and then there was a guy in like 1960 or whatever, but then they both ended up going to the NFL. Well, so I'm sorry, 5. So then you've got Mark Wilson, Todd Marinovich, and Jamarcus Russell. That's it, 5 times. And only 3 quarterbacks have ever played for your Oakland, Las Vegas, Los Angeles Raiders in the entire history of the organization. Like, so let's finally do the right thing. It's crazy, man. And it's scary to those of us that want them to do that, because we don't have the draft capital that the Jets do. We don't have the draft capital that the Rams even do. Can you imagine if the Rams make a move to leapfrog the Raiders, if we're at number 2 or whatever, and they go up and jump us and get Fernando Mendoza to sit behind Matt Stafford for a year? Oh my gosh. I mean, talk about McVay and whatever, whatever is, I forget, with just reloading. Oh, gosh, dang it. That's rough. But that's what's on the line. Like, that's the kind of possibilities that we have. And I can only hope the Raiders finally do the right thing. I'm with you, Jay. Like, it's tough, brother. It's tough. And we're all in the same boat. I'm going to stop bitching because we're all in the same boat. Everybody in the chat room is in the same boat. You, me, are in the same boat. Everybody on the social media is on the same boat. Like, we all in this together. And so, you know, I don't want to get to the end of the show and be a sad sack. So I'm just going to hope that the Raiders finally do the right thing. I talked about the building blocks, the things that we had to be excited about. The handful of players, whether it's JPJ or it's Ashton Genty or it's Brock Bowers, it's Max Crosby, there are a handful of players that we can latch onto and hope that the Raiders choose to build around. And that's all we got. That's all we can do. And I'm an inherently positive guy, and so I'm going to lean into that idea that they finally do the right thing. Last thing I'll say is this, before we get out of here, is that I would implore Mark Davis to build that power structure that makes sense, because whether you're listening to national pundits or you're listening to Silver and Black Today, listening to guys like Mo and Scott or us here or people on Twitter or otherwise, no one knows who's making the decisions. And everyone says, oh, it's Brady or it's Spytek or it's Jim Gray or it's, freaking Mark Davis, or it's all these different various people in the Raiders organization that might be making the call. Well, who's making it? Like, there ain't no mystery to who's making the call in San Francisco, right? It's Lynch. The end. Like, he's the guy. So I would love for the Raiders to be in a position to where there is something definitive so we knew who it was, because by knowing who it is, not that we deserve anything as fans, but we would understand where their mind's going, because we would know their traits, the preferences, and all those kinds of things. So if there's something definitive that it's like, okay, John Spytek has control of the roster and the decision-making, head coach on down, right? Then it's like, oh, okay, we know where this thing might go. And then as fans, we won't be in this like, hope they finally do the right thing kind of zone. So anyways, y'all, all that said, thank you to everybody that called tonight. Appreciate everybody that emailed the show tonight. I've got to give a Sizzler award out to the best emailer or phone caller of the night. And I appreciate you all so very, very much. I'm going to give one to one of each. I'm going to give one to, let's go with our buddy. You're an OG, Paul. Add another one to your freaking list, dude. So let's go with Paul on the emails, and let's go with Jay from PA on the calls there, and appreciate you so very, very much, and congratulations on tonight's Sizzler Award.
I am the Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we are here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Bomber, go say hi. Bomber. Trying to wake up the dog. Bomb. Go say hi. Go say hi to the people. He's like, huh? What? I appreciate you, Raider Nation, so very, very much. I appreciate you checking in with this selfie Christmas episode of Raiders Fan Radio. And we will see you guys maybe next week. I don't know. We'll, I don't know. Wait, is it next week? Because no, next week is, I don't know, whatever. We'll be back. We'll be back for sure. But appreciate everybody that checked in with us tonight. Appreciate Storm that's in there. Appreciate Paul. Appreciate Vibrator. Oh, what's up, baby? Appreciate Johnny Wilcock is in there. Appreciate Black Rose is in there. And who do we got? Justin is in there. Eddie is in there. Road Code is in there. Raider Rick is in there. Appreciate all of those of you so very, very much. Hey, check us out in Vegas. We'll be out there in a couple of weeks. We'll be out there at the Chiefs game. And so if we see you at Allegiant Stadium or you see us, holler at us, man. Definitely come and say hi. Enjoy these last couple of weeks of Raider football. That's the other thing I would say is that, like, we're all going to be dying for this stuff in June. We would love to see a Raider game. So it might not be ideal, but at least we got Raider games to watch. And but most importantly, though, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you guys. I'll spit it out. Happy New Year to you guys. We love you so very, very much. Thank you for the support of Raiders Fan Radio and the One Nation Foundation throughout the course of the year. And enjoy the time with family. Enjoy the get-togethers. Enjoy the eggnog. Enjoy the presents and whatever else. And most importantly, the reason for the season. Love you so very much. Bomber loves you. Don't you, Bomber? Bomber. Bomber, you big lazy bastard. Go say hi. Come on, Bomb. Let's go say hi. Come here, Bomb. Come here, you big old. Come here. All right, me and Bomber say goodnight. Good night, YouTube.